Sai Ram. Today we bring you a special throwback story from one of the most influential members of our center, Wayner Crowder. A story called Big Hug.
Like most everybody, I have been a seeker of God for many years, and I'm going to start this story about 1980, when I was diagnosed with a malignancy in my body. And at that time, I had been living my life in the fast lane. I had also been living in a ministerial school in Atlanta. My work was very high-pressured. I was just ending a failed relationship. Everything was crumbling in my life. And I left work one day, mid-morning, to go home and cry and scream at the top of my lungs, "God, if you are there, let me know for sure. I have had faith in you this many years, and now I need to know whether you are there so that you can help me, or I can forget about this spirituality experience." And I was really at the point of saying, either show me or, show me one way or the other. So very shortly thereafter, just a few short months, I went to a retreat place in the North Georgia mountains, and at that place I heard that there was a holy man in India, and that they, at the retreat, had a video of him, and I asked to see it, and they showed it to me, and I was immediately taken by everything about Baba in that video. I was taken by the fact that there was no nervous energy. I was taken by the fact that he was exuding so much love. I was impressed by the miracles, and I was also knowing intuitively that what his message was, as it was repeated by the translator, was truth itself. So I immediately had to get all of the tapes I could, all of the videos, all of the pictures, all of the incense, all of the everything else that was available to begin my journey to know Swami. And this was in December of '81. In August of '82, I was on my way, July or August of '82, I was on my way to India for the first time to see him. Being the lawyer that I am, I decided I would put everything I needed in writing. So I wrote a letter to Baba, and I said I wanted him to heal my body, and also I asked him to bless my family. I asked him to eliminate or reduce my past karma and give me a new lease on life. I asked him to materialize something for me. I asked him for a group and a personal interview, interview for the group, and I asked him for a personal interview for me. And finally, I asked him for a big hug. So, he came out for darshan that day. He passed by me, and I offered him the letter, and he accepted it. And as he was moving along, I said, "Baba, interview?" And he said, "Yes, yes." And so I didn't know what to do. I was just sitting there, and so he kept going, and then he turned around, and he said, you go. So then I went, and I had the first interview with him, and in the first part of it, he talked to the whole group about the importance of starting with an awareness of self-confidence, and then moving from there to self-satisfaction, and then from there to self-sacrifice, and then from there to self-realization. In the course of the interview, he materialized a number of things for various devotees. There must have been about 20 of us. He spoke to one man from the Orient who was having severe headaches, and Baba materialized a locket for him. He materialized vibhuti for a lot of people, and he also materialized a japamala, a green jade japamala, and I was sitting about the distance between my two hands here from him, and it was very impressive. We could hear the noise as it was entering this materiality, and he grabbed it at the top to hold it, and then he gave that one to somebody, and then he sang Love Is My Form for us, and then he started the process of calling people in for private interview. Well, he called, it seemed like all 19 other people, and I was really struggling because I was saying, well, now, Baba, I've had this much faith in you this long to get here. I really pray that you're going to call me in for this private interview that I'd asked for. And so finally, after he had talked to everyone else, he did come back to the door leading into the private interview room, and he said, "You, sir, come please." So I was, of course, ecstatic. He talked to me about some spiritual instructions that I needed to have, which alone would take at least this lifetime to try to master, I would think, and if hopefully just this lifetime. But anyway, he also asked me to raise my shirt, and I did, and he materialized some vibhuti, and he rubbed it on my stomach. And I said, "Baba, you know I've been diagnosed with malignancy in my body." And he said, "Yes, yes, I know." And then I said, "Well, am I all right now?" And he said, "Yes, yes, yes, yes." And then he said, "I worried too much about health and wealth, and not to worry because he would bless." And after he finished talking to me, he did like this. And that was for the big hug. So he gave me, I got to hug him, we had a big hug. The best hug I've ever had. And in the meantime, I had also carried with me a severe back pain that would not allow me to lower my neck, my chin to my neck, my shoulder, my whatever this is, chest. And after the interview, one of the devotees from the Atlanta Center and I went back to the room in the ashram that we were sharing, and I began writing everything that I could remember so that I could be sure that I didn't forget anything. And in the process of writing, I did like this almost by mistake, and I realized I could do it. And then I was still not having total faith, so I just kept writing for about 30 or 45 minutes. I didn't even say anything about it. And then I did it again about 45 minutes later, and suddenly that pain was gone, and I'd had it as a result of the medicines I was taking for the malignancy. And the pain was gone, and it has never come back before, nor have I ever been treated for the same malignancy again since that trip. So that was one way I believe that Baba had of giving me some of what I wanted so that I would come to want what he has come to give. And that is the awareness of who we are, of our divinity, of our oneness with him. So I felt that I was really, really on a roll. Thank you, Sairam.